Hey, yo, what's up? This disciple Marcello Kearns reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day. So, yeah, this video is gonna be about everything from America is spoils of war. Everything from America is spoils of war. It's not nothing they can manipulate us with. Because see, that's what they'll try to do. They'll try to manipulate you with goods and people that's around you. They'll try to manipulate them with goods and with money out of nowhere and cash and things. And all those things are to manipulate, their enemies against one another. You know what I'm saying? So everything I get does not change my perspective of America being who they are. You know what I'm saying? You can't bribe me, you can't corrupt me, and you got to remember I stand with God. You can't corrupt me and have me believing just believing you're good because you give me some goods. It's not going to work. You have child marriage. You don't have enough money to change that reality. Either way it go. Either way it go. No matter how much money you give out and hand out for all you people that take bribes and take money, I don't see how you can live with yourself when you know they still got child marriage. I don't see how you can live with yourself. And my perspective is everything that I get from them is spoils of war. It's when you have two opposing armies, everything they get from the enemy army is spoils of war. It don't change your perspective on the enemy. See, weak Americans, you're so easily deceived and given over to these goods. See, that's what they was doing. Every time they pass out money, they're trying to get you on their side. Pay attention to them. They're greedy people. They don't like to give out what they call free money. Well, let's look at how they act when it came to unemployment during COVID-19 in 2020. When COVID first hit, right? And they were passing out stimulus checks and they was passing out they was doing unemployment. They got to the point where they started to look as if they was giving free money to people, even though they was going through COVID, even though things were going crazy, they still seen it as free money. This shows you their perspective. In spite of the stimulus checks, look at the mentality. In spite of the stimulus checks, there were politicians out there that thought they was giving away free money during one of the most desperate times that this country has faced. So what does that mean about the stimulus checks? That they were not for your better good. They were not. They were those stimulus checks were to deceive you and to stop you from uprising. That's my personal belief. I believe those stimulus checks were to pacify the people because you were going through COVID-19 in 2020 when you didn't know what was going to happen next. You didn't know if it was going to stop. You didn't know how it was going to be. It felt very apocalyptic to many people. That being said, they gave you money to pacify you, to stop you from uprising, to stop you from eating them, to stop you from destroying them, to overtaking them. That's what the whole stimulus checks was about. And that's why many of you are neutral when it comes to talking about these politics now. You still deceived by the stimulus checks that they gave you. They won you over with about $4,000. That's how they won you over. Your loyalty is worth $4,000. Basically, they gave you about four stimulus checks. Yeah, that's about right. About $4,000. That's why you ain't got nothing to say. You might not like them. You might not agree with them, but you still ain't gonna say nothing because those stimulus checks worked on you to the point where you ain't gonna really say nothing. See, I survived without those stimulus checks. I didn't get one stimulus check. I ain't mad about it. I ain't mad about it at all. I didn't get one of them, and you don't see me. Listen, I'm good. So that's how they got you moving forward with this COVID-19 and all that. They made most of y'all join them through which is a perfect example of goods from this country. They made most of y'all join them from through the stimulus checks. That's how they got many people on their side right now. It had a cycle. It's still the psychological effect of those stimulus checks is still lasting because in all actuality, many people didn't have $1,000 at one time. Before that happened, many people that don't make a lot of money, they didn't have $1,000 at one time. So just imagine that was their first $1,000 they had. So that still has a psychological effect on many Americans. That's the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? With me, I didn't get any of those. And I thank God that I didn't because I'm not soft on this country. I'm not soft on, what's going on. I'm not soft when it comes to my stand. I'm not soft when it comes to me having to turn away from this country because I can no longer stand with this country as a Christian. See, many Christians got those stimulus checks too. That's why you ain't really saying nothing either. That's a 7-hour. Yeah, you listen. God don't agree with no child marriage and gay marriage. But them stimulus checks got you feeling like America ain't all that bad now, are they? Let's tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame the devil, like many people say. Many of y'all ain't telling the truth because of the stimulus checks. See, this is coming out for a reason. Because, like I said, many of you are psychologically still affected by these checks because you don't really say what need to be said. You're not saying with this information that I'm telling you about child marriage, many of you are not saying anything. You know why you ain't saying nothing? Because of the psychological effect of those little stimulus checks you got. See, whether it was God's will or not for me to receive them, I didn't receive them, and it worked for my good because I don't really care about what happens to this country. I don't really care about them getting better. I don't care about none of that because they got child marriage in this country. You care about them getting better? The only reason you care about them getting better is because of the psychological effect is still lasting on people in poverty that never had $1,000 in their life at one time. That's all that is. And just for other people too, that's not necessarily in poverty. You're pacified too. You feel like America is for you. Then why they felt like unemployment was free money? Go look it up. They was talking about they didn't want to give away free money. That's how they put it. They didn't want to give up free. They said they didn't want to give free money to the as unemployment. They felt like that was unemployment was free money. That's what they felt. But the bottom line is you needed all of that money and some to survive. That's what you needed. You needed all that money and some to survive in a time where water was scarce. What else was scarce? Wipes. All kind of stuff with toilet paper was scarce. All these things were scarce, and they talking about they didn't want to give out no free money. It wasn't a such thing of free money in a crisis. There's no such thing. You always need it. But the slave master's mentality is you got to work for everything you get. You ain't getting nothing for free. And they sitting up trying to make you work for it. Everything. So how you know that this country is was not well-meaning concerning the stimulus checks is because when it came to unemployment, they didn't want to. They wanted to make sure they wasn't giving out free money. Now, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but what is the stimulus checks? Isn't that free money? Whether you working or not, isn't that free money? And from my understanding, it wasn't just people that was working that got the stimulus checks. So stimulus checks was free money, but they didn't want to give out free money when it came to unemployment. That doesn't make sense. Which means the purpose of the stimulus checks was to psychologically affect you to be on their side for a couple $1,000s. That's what that all was about. That's what that all was about. They wanted to pacify you so that you wouldn't rise up in a time of uncertainty. Watch the American government. Anytime there's a time of uncertainty, they're going to try to get you to be on their side. Because more times than not, it's their fault. Well, the Donald Trump administration, slowed the response down on COVID. You had COVID like you had it because of Donald Trump not telling the American public. That's a fact. Everybody know that. Kamala Harris told you that in the vice presidential debate, that the American government knew, Donald Trump and his administration knew, and they did not tell you because they said they didn't want you to panic. Well, you're going to panic regardless in a situation like that. You're going to panic. Them saying something, them telling you about it isn't going to change your effect necessarily for most people. If you're going to panic, whether you have the information on it or not, beforehand, it doesn't matter. So whether you know it in the time frame that it happened or later on, if you're a person that is subject to fear, you're going to panic anyway. If the government didn't tell you and you found out on your own, you're going to kind of panic. That's worse, actually. They're idiots. Well, the government, how they ain't know about it? They don't know. They ain't giving us no answers. Basically, they're not giving you no answers. Wouldn't you panic more if they're not talking about it and briefing you on it and giving you no information about it? Wouldn't you panic a little more about it? Wouldn't it be a little more comforting that at least they're telling you what you can assume they're going to do something about it? So look, basically, every time the American government panics about your response, let's talk about how they panic. They start handing out free money. If something else bad happened, they're gonna give y'all another stimulus check just so you don't respond, just so you don't do nothing to them, just so you don't uprise against them. That's what they're gonna do. That's what it was all about. That's what it was all about. The American government handing you those free checks so that you wouldn't uprise and go crazy out in the community. You might not go down to the Capitol, you might not go down to the White House, but you might uprise all in the neighborhood and start acting crazy. Think about it. People still kind of was doing it anyway. And so they sent out the stimulus checks to persuade you, to pacify you, to not uprise. Because you see, on the other hand, when it came to unemployment, they felt like they were giving out free money. So make it make sense. It's free money over here, but it's not free money with the stimulus checks. That they told on themselves right there. And the stimulus checks was more than the unemployment. The stimulus checks was more than the unemployment. Man, listen, we ain't backing down at all, man. We ain't backing down, man. You crazy? We don't care nothing about being crazy. We neutralize crazy targets. We don't care nothing about you being crazy or violent or anything else. That don't mean nothing to me. Long as you are a target and you're a human, you can be defeated. How about that part? I don't care nothing about you being crazy. You be dead and crazy. How about that? I don't care nothing about you being whatever you are. As long as you're a human, you can be defeated. That's how I see it. See, what you leave out with me, you'll say, you too. Not when I got God in my life. Not when the supernatural power of God is here. They can take anybody out at any time. You ain't got that. That ain't your part that you have. You don't have that part. You don't have that equipment. That's not your lane. Yeah. You in the lane where anything can happen at any time to you. That's the lane you in, buddy. So the American government, anything I get from them is spoils of war. They are an enemy that has already fought against good people and fought against me. There are people that uh, have child marriage and gay marriage as Christians. You know, we can't agree with that. So anything that we get from them is spoils of war. It's not. It's not going to make us say, "Oh, look what our government did for us." See, that's how you are, because you soft. Oh, look what they doing for us. Oh, they ain't so bad after all. That's the response they want. That's the response they want when they hand you money. Oh, they want you to say that inwardly, internally. Oh, oh. They want you to say, oh. That's exactly the response they want. They want you. They want you to feel some love for them, some compassion for them, so that you don't kill them and eat them and destroy them. They don't want you to eat them. They don't want you to destroy them. That's what it is. You know, and if you're not smart enough to see it with the perfect example that I gave you, stimulus checks, free money, then over here on unemployment, they tell you they don't want to give out free money. That's how stupid they are. Over here giving out stimulus checks. So what is the stimulus check then? That lets you know that's how they feel. Unemployment, you needed that money and some during COVID. So for people that lost loved ones, okay, I guess there's some other type of program. Because you definitely would need the unemployment if you lost somebody in your family. What if somebody just lost their job, which would be unemployed? So they act like they wanted to make sure that they definitely gave it to people that had a job and now unemployed, right? They should have been passing that money out too, like they passing out stimulus checks. Because everybody basically, they were passing out stimulus checks. They weren't worried about if somebody was employing it when they passed out them stimulus checks. That's what I'm trying to show you. Man, them people don't care nothing about how much you having some money and having happiness, man. It's all about working for them to live a fat cat life. Look at these politicians. They are their own community, by the way. They're not part of your community. They live a fat cat life. It may look like, you may think they might not have no money. Don't be deceived. Hey, they ain't eating off the value menu. Hey, they ain't eating Whopper Juniors, I tell you that. None of these politicians are eating Whopper Juniors, and that's the bottom line. They ain't eating no small fries. They ain't getting no small shake at Burger King. I tell you that. They might not be the richest people in the world, but they ain't eating no Whopper Junior. I tell you that, Jack. And that's all you need to know. But for me, in my people who I talk to, I'm making sure you understand. Everything they give us is spoils of war. That's what it is. That's all it is. It spoils of war for us. It's not going to be able to influence us that they are good people. It's too late for that. They got 44 states for child marriage. How are they good people? Boom. They got 44 states with child marriage. They passed the last child marriage law a year before COVID. Before COVID came out, a year before that, that's when the last child marriage law came. So how are they good people? Okay, what grown man passed child marriage laws? What grown woman passed child marriage laws? They have no way to manipulate. Don't you see that? They can walk around here yelling and crazy like they do outside my window, like I don't know no better. Trying to curse me and everything. Hey, you should be yelling like that outside the White House. Won't you take that energy out to the White House, big baby? Huh? So you can stop walking around funky. Yeah, they got you in that situation. At the end of the day, this is the greatest country in the world, but they can't employ everybody at one time. They can't, listen, they can't help, they cannot give enough job openings for everybody at one time. Meaning, some people are going to be homeless regardless. But this is the greatest country in the world, but they can't employ everybody at the same time. They do not have enough jobs for every single American citizen in this country. Did you know that? They can't employ you all at one time, at the same time. So everybody can't work here at the same time. There's not enough jobs. Did you know that? Did you know that? So what are we doing? We're playing employment musical chairs. You get the job, you get fired, another person get the job. But at the end of the day, you can't employ everyone at the same time in the greatest country in the world. Yeah, look like they got some work to do. But you don't hear them talking about they can't employ everybody at the same time, now do you? Do you hear any of these politicians when they're having the vice presidential debate that they can't employ everybody at the same time? Or the presidential debate, do you hear them talk about this? You don't, do you? The American government passes out money during times when they're liable. That's what you need to look at. Okay, why are they giving us money? Yeah, you need to be skeptical about that. Don't be ignorant about it. Yeah. Free money. That's how I definitely say 30% of the Americans were acting ratchet about that. Ratchet and reckless. You get $1,000. Oh, you running around like you got $500,000. Oh, I know I'm right. You not looking at what's the catch. You should know it's a catch. You're not looking at, oh, well, what they doing wrong. What they was doing wrong from the very beginning was they already knew about COVID-19 and they ain't tell you about it. Now you might be desensitized to that. They knew about it, but didn't tell you in the time frame that they knew. They just sat back. So the stimulus checks might be because they did that and they know they did that and they might catch up to them. By the time I tell you this information, you don't really care, do you? You know why? Because of the psychological effect that lasts when it comes to money. See, it don't work on me. It don't work on me. I've been a soldier in the opposite direction too long. Well, I've been in the opposite direction of your country too long for them to desensitize or psychologically affect me in some type of way to be on their side. That's out of the question. I'm a real soldier. You owe me money. And it's more than a couple stimulus checks too. It's more than a couple stimulus checks, buddy. It's many hundreds of thousands of stimulus checks that you pass out. It's way more than that. You owe me $707 million, and I ain't budging off that. That's $707 million. I mean, it's not the greatest price tag in the world, you know. I mean, what's the Powerball? Even though I don't gamble per se, the Powerball is what, $1 billion now? It's not the biggest numbers you ever heard, but it's the numbers that you owe me though. Look at it that way. You owe me $707 million. I ain't budging on it. That's from going to California, all that gang stalking in California, all them games in politics in California, all them games in politics in Florida, all them games in politics in North Carolina, and all them games in politics here in New York. That's 4 states. Yeah, absolutely. You think you're gonna get off with a couple thousand? You crazy? From state to state? You tripping? Hey, you sell yourself for cheap. I don't. Somebody play games with me from 4 states. That's millions of dollars, buddy. It should be more than that. Done lost your mind. Instead of thinking about the money, you should think about what happened. Then it'll make sense. But you ain't really thinking about what happened, are you? All this problem you caused, which you probably caused COVID as a result. Yeah. That's your way of paying that too. You probably listen, man, all that gang stalking, man, God had to do something about it. And you don't want to take responsibility for that. Your government doesn't want to take responsibility for that. In fact, they're not taking responsibility for the gang stalkers even now as I speak. In fact, the American government is using the gang stalkers. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. They're behind the whole thing. That being said, I don't know what y'all gonna do. Because God is on my side, as you can see. You got a new strain of COVID on the horizon. I told you to not underestimate COVID. You little dumb Americans thought you had it good, didn't you? You thought you was straight, didn't you? You thought you was straight. Yeah, we straight. We straight. How about now? That's what I like to ask my enemies. How about now? You feel straight now? Hey, you caused this on yourself, man. It ain't nobody's fault. Look, I'm the first justified villain in your community. Well, no one disagrees that I deserve my revenge. Anybody disagree with that? So I'm the first if I am a villain, I'm the first justified villain in your community. Do anybody feel like I don't deserve my revenge? And I got 44 states with child marriage on them on top of that. Yeah, I deserve my revenge. I don't know about you. I can't speak for you. That's why I said me. I can't speak for no other souls. I speak for me. I am the first justified villain. That's one, plural, singular. I am the first justified villain in your community. No one disagrees with me getting my revenge. That's why ain't nothing happening to me. You know why? Because everyone knows I'm justified for what I'm doing. Oh, you don't feel I'm justified? Then you just as crazy as the people that started the problem. Pretty much, I bet you are. I bet you're just as crazy as they are. If you don't think I'm justified. Yeah, it just don't feel good, do it? Well, that's how I was feeling for the past, almost 10 years. Yeah, they've been playing around me for about 10 years. Yeah. Going by hearsay, playing the Freemasons, spreading around foolishness. Like we don't know no better. Yeah, we found out all about that. You got your intelligence and I got mine. Unfortunately, with your intelligence, it was all craziness. It was all jealousy. It came out to be nothing, didn't it? Didn't the jealousy and all of that come out to be nothing? I mean, didn't the intelligence that you received come out to be nothing? It came out to be nothing, didn't it? That's what I'm saying. The intelligence that I have, it's real. The Freemasons, the Freemason police, the Illuminati, their little foot soldiers. That's accurate. Satanic people, the little cults in between. That's about right. Salty black people. That's about right. And Mexicans just jumping in it for the money. That's about right. And for bad politics too. That's about right. That's about right. Now what you got? Nothing, huh? Right. Now you're looking stupid. Now you're trying to make something fit, but it ain't gonna fit, buddy. Man, listen, man. Nobody don't even care. You got child marriage in this country. No, you think anybody care about what I did? Something wrong with you. If you could sidestep child marriage and worry about what somebody's doing And you're one person doing in your community with 44 states with child marriage. 44 states in America now with child marriage. And you thinking about what some one guy is doing or one woman or whatever, you worried about one situation? You done lost your mind, buddy. Yeah, you done went crazy. You done went scramble brain. You went stir crazy, huh? That's the better term for it. You done went stir crazy. Yeah, you want somebody to play with because you losing because you got COVID-19. I told you COVID wasn't gonna let up. Didn't I tell you that? Hey, you might want to be careful out there too, because this new strain is a doozy. And hey, it's how it is, man. When your enemies, your enemies. It's how it is. And I give God the praise. I really do. I give God the glory. Because he's bringing his judgment on you, man. You can't play games in the world, man. Now you got a new strain. Let's look at the timeline. Since you've been playing games with me here, let's update the new information. Now you got a new strain that hit the New York area. That is now everywhere in the country. But it originated here in the New York area. And it came around November and December, just in for the holidays. Home for the holidays. Home for the holidays. Hey, COVID's home for the holidays. Hey, listen, you was doing all this game. Like, you see all this fluffy, crazy stuff they doing out here? All this corny stuff, driving around, acting like they John Wayne out in the hallways in my apartment place. Like I don't know no better. You see all this stuff they doing, right? All out on those sidewalks and everything. And then a new strain of COVID comes November and December. That's for you. That's for you, big baby. That's for you, big baby. Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get. As some would say. That's the wages you get for playing with me. I told you there will be consequences. What you thought I was Eddie Murphy on Life? There will be repercussions. You thought I was Eddie Murphy on the movie Life? There'll be repercussions and consequences. Thought I was talking a big game, didn't you? Well, the difference between me and other people, I talk it and I walk. I talk it like I walk it like I talk it, and I back it up. Now look at you. You got a COVID-19 strain that's all over the country, and it just came in November, December. Like I said, it's home for the holidays. It's home for the holidays. That new strain is home for the holidays, man. Right here in New York, baby. Hey, man, listen. All they sent me through, you might not like my attitude, but that's tough. I don't care. I'm in a real war. I really don't care because you waiting for some contradiction anyway. And all you're gonna do is try to emphasize the contradiction. God is giving me mercy. He knows what I've been through. He knows what you put me on. He know what you put me through right now. So you don't think he's gonna have mercy when I'm seeing how you are being defeated? When I'm unhappy about you being undefeated? After you've been playing all these games? You don't think he's gonna have mercy? See, you don't know the God I know. You got religion. That's what you got. Because my God will laugh at his enemies. My God will. You a joke. Tell you that. We winning, buddy. And guess what? You are hated just as much as you hate. I can show you in the Bible it's 7 things that God hates. Oh yeah, go look it up for all you Christians. For all you preachers that walk around like you're a love cult. Go look in the Bible and go, let me give you some homework. Go look in the Bible and go see where there's 7 things what God hates. 7 things that he hates. Oh no, not God. Yes, 7 things my God hates. And I'm supposed to hate nothing. But God hates something. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense, bruh. God hates something, but I don't supposed to hate nothing. I gotta do a video about that, man. God hates stuff, but I don't supposed to hate nothing. I think we've been listening to the wrong preachers, haven't we? See, hate, I'm going to tell you what hate does. Hate repels the wrong people away from you. Not racist hate, not the wrong kind of hate. The right kind of hate repels evil and evil people. Well, if you start hating something, that means you don't supposed to be around it. If you start hating something, that means it's not good for you. If you start hating something, that means it's not the path for you to go down. If you start hating something, I don't care what it is, it's an indication that it is supposed to be repelled from your life. It's basically, it's a mechanism, it's a defense mechanism to repel the wrong stuff away from your life. See, they ain't tell you that. The preacher ain't tell you that, did he? You know why? Because he don't want to study psychology, because that's worldly. Oh, it's worldly to understand my brain? It's worldly to understand the human makeup. But God made you, but it's worldly for you to understand what God made. Man, you tripping. You tripping. Yeah, the right hate is a repellent to something that shouldn't be in your life. It sprays all those bugs out your life. Because at the end of the day, God hates 7 things. That's what the Bible says. So I'm supposed to hate nothing. See, so what does that tell us about the Christians? Oh, let's be 100. If God hates 7 things, what does this tell us about these Christians who walk around like they don't have no hate at all? What does that tell us? It tells us they're not paying attention. They're not aware of their surroundings. They're deceived concerning their surroundings. And they're fake. Many of them. Yeah, you put on a smile, but you hate certain things. Yeah, you smiling, but you got a lot of hate. And you in denial about it. See, if you used it the proper way, you'll be able to repel the wrong things in your life. Or you will have a passion to change the wrong things in your life. Or you will have a passion to change the things that's going on in your society. But instead, you want to suppress it. Instead of letting it be a catalyst to give you a passion to change this 44 states with child marriage in your country. I don't know anybody who loves child marriage country. Anybody loves a child marriage country? You just wake up in the morning loving America with 44 states with child marriage. Man, come on, man. You must be sick, man. Oh, you thought it was me. I think it's you. You can wake up in the morning with, you got 44 states surrounding you, and you just wake up loving the country. Well, maybe you one of them. Maybe you're a pedophile. Maybe that's why you love them. Well, you tell me why somebody that protects children wakes up and love a country with 44 states with child marriage. I'm questioning you now. Yeah, you was questioning me. I'm questioning you. How you love a country that got 44 states with child marriage and you call yourself a child protector? Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense, man. Yeah, you didn't bring nobody to talk to me face to face. Now you feel like you wish you would have did that, don't you? Yeah, you thought I was somebody. You thought I was a little guy that we need to handle. How about now? Feel like I'm a little guy you need to handle? It looks like you're the little guys I need to handle. I need to get some baby wipes to get all that boo-boo off of you. I need some baby wipes. Somebody bring me some baby wipes so I can get this boo-boo off of these people. Because you full of boo-boo. I need some baby wipes. You got 44 states with child marriage walking around with boo-boo on you. You got a big dump in your pants because you're full of doo-doo. You got a big dump. You walking around with a big dump in your pants. I need 1 million baby wipes to clean this mess up. I need 1 million baby wipes. You got 44 states with child marriage. That's what you got. You got 44 states with child marriage with psychology, which is, I need baby wipes for them too. Little trigger people. They think they're doing something. In your own little world, man. In my world, you ain't doing nothing, man. I dare somebody try to come up to me and say, well, we thought this was on your mind. This ain't Minority Report. That's what I told these people, man. They sit up there acting like this Minority Report. The movie. Imagine that. Imagine you stopping what I'm doing. Oh. Boy, that felt good. Imagine you stopping what I'm doing. Yeah, you ain't got no Minority Report for that, do you? You ain't got no little weirdo telepaths that can stop this, do you? You remember the movie Minority Report where they had the girls in the pool? Yeah, them little bald-headed women can't do nothing for this, can they? What they gonna do about 44 states with child marriage? Hey, them bald-headed women can't do nothing about this, can they? Man, this is a joke, man. I told you don't come around here playing with no masters, man. And they go for the white people, the black people, and everybody in between. This is not rap. This is not a rap battle, buddy. This is not hip-hop. I'm a prophet of God. I will burn. Listen, man, this thing will be burned down, man. Less than 8 years. Less than 8 years from now. This will be burned to the ground. Trying to act like this is a rap battle, like this is a Tupac and Biggie situation. But man, you tripping. Man, this will be burned down to the ground less than 8 years, man, by God's power. I'm not playing. I'm here. I'm on my own. I stand on my own. I've been doing that. I was doing that this time last year. Just me and myself and I. Doing everything. Me. With God's help. I haven't changed my tune one bit. You go look at my videos. I got videos over a year old. Go look at my videos a year ago. I was singing the same tune. In fact, I'm singing it stronger now. Acting like I done changed. How? I done changed for the better. My slide done got stronger. My slide done got meaner. That's what, if anything. And I in any spoils of war that I take from America, anything I take from America is considered spoils of war. We consider that spoils of war. That's all. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is, man. You can't deceive us with a couple $1,000 and a Coca-Cola. They say y'all pack a Coca-Cola and $1,000. You crying, talking about I love my country. Hey, let them send you a pack of Coca-Cola and $1,000 in a stimulus check. You talking about God did it. That ain't nothing but spoils of war for me. That's all it is. It's spoils of war. When you got, like I said, when you got two opposing forces, whatever goods you get, that's spoils of war. That's what it is. That don't make me feel like, oh, you know, we're all together. We're not all together. You sitting up here looking dumbfounded about the fact that they got 44 states with child marriage. You still ain't got that dumbfounded look off your face. When you gonna get that look off your face? Huh? I'm advancing. I'm a year past this time. Past the time where I first realized it. Yeah. I done came into 2023 realizing they got 44 states with child marriage. You still dumbfounded like 2021. You still dumbfounded like last year. Same dumb look on your face. They got 44 states for child marriage. Ain't no way around that. Everything I get from them, everything my people that's with me get from them, that is spoils of war. That does not change your attitude about their reality. Well, it shouldn't. If you 100, they still got 44 states for child marriage. Why are you changing? What makes you change? What makes you see anything differently? You shouldn't see anything differently, should you? Okay? I can't be bribed. I can't be bought. I don't have a price. I've been bought with a price. The price of Jesus Christ's blood. I already been bought. You can't buy me, buddy. And especially in this situation, you got 44 states with child marriage. Yeah, you can't buy them people. You can't buy us. You're marrying children. How you gonna buy me off? You're marrying children. It's one thing to have corrupt politics. It's one thing to be marrying children. And you can't say Russia is doing it. You can't say Russia is doing it. You can't say China is doing it. That's the real kicker right there. The kicker where you can't say China or Russia is doing it. You can't say China is doing this. You can't say Russia is doing this. Yeah, they ain't. China does not have child marriage. China does not have child marriage. Yeah, Donald Trump got all this stuff to say about China. Tell you one thing, China ain't married no children. How about that part? Yeah. Same thing with Russia. You don't see Russia out here marrying no children. You got all this stuff to say about Russia. But let's compare politics. That's a 7 hour. Let's compare politics. Let's compare politics between the Russians, the Chinese, and the Americans. Okay? The Americans got 44 states with child marriage. I'm hitting the ground running. Your last child marriage law was passed on top of that, on top of 44 states child marriage laws. You added another law of child marriage, same category. You added another child marriage law July 1st, 2019. That was just 3 years ago. That was just 3 years ago. Meanwhile, Russia has no signs of child marriage. China has no signs of child marriage. But you just added another law 3 years ago. Just in case people are thinking this is not relevant information. How is it not relevant information when they just passed their last child marriage law just 3 years ago? How is it not relevant information? That sounds very relevant to me because the world hasn't changed that much since in the past 3 years except for COVID. But morally speaking, as far as integrity and character, the country hasn't changed that much in the past 3 years. Come on now. Who intelligence are you insulting? Nobody's integrity and character has changed in the past 3 years, buddy. The people feel about the same way that they felt 3 years ago. Okay, like I said, China doesn't have any child marriage law. Russia doesn't have any child marriage law. You also have, if you think this is just starting with the newer generations of Americans, because you got some people like that. Well, back in the day, this would have never happened. It would have never happened on the watch of our forefathers. Oh, are you sure about that? You sure that it wouldn't, no type of sexual interaction with adults and children would have never happened on your forefathers' watch in America? You sure about that? Let's review the facts. Let's review the facts. In the state of Delaware in 1880, the American government passed a law that allowed adults in the state of Delaware in 1880 to have sex with 7-year-old girls. Do you care how long ago it was? So it's an egg timer on how long ago it was. When it comes to the American government having sex with 7-year-old girls, you got an egg timer for the time, for if you care or not. If the egg timer goes ding, you don't care no more, huh? So it's a time frame where you stop caring about it. It's still the same government. It wasn't one government then the next government. Meanwhile, back in the day, did Russia have child marriage laws? You have, as a result of that law, you have the world record for the lowest age of consent at 7 years old. These are facts. You want to know why I'm so passionate? I'm passionate about the facts. You got the world record. America, in all its glory that you think it has, they have the world record for the lowest age of consent. They were having sex with 7-year-old girls. Not some wayward men in a barn in a cabin somewhere. No, not some wayward people. The American government passed these laws. And I personally don't care about the time frame with something so disgusting as 7 years old. You care about the time frame when they was having sex with 7-year-old girls? Well, let me give you an analogy to show you my feelings on that. If you had a house that fully grown men were having sex with 7-year-old girls, right? Not children experimenting with each other. Not that. Which children would do. Fully grown men, with 7-year-old girls. What would you want done with that house? You wanted to have it renovated, or would you want things to be? Would you want it to be painted, repainted? This is a house now that you really don't know when it was built, but you do know that people were having sex with fully grown adults were having sex with 7-year-old girls as fully grown men. Right? No cut and paste situation where people are trying to make adults do stuff like they accusing people that are adults of doing stuff that they did with children as if they were adults doing it. Now, we ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about no cut and pasting effect. We talking about they was adults. They was adults with children. Not the cut and paste stuff they try to do, like when they try to use your past against you like you was an adult doing it, but you just now an adult. Not that kind of stuff. Well, you still fairly a young man or a young woman right now. That part. We talking about them adults having sex with children. By law. What would you want done with the house that they did that in? You would want it burned to the ground and condemned. Then why you don't want the American system that did that with children, why you don't want that condemned and burned? Now you see what I'm saying. Boom. And you wouldn't care what time it was. You wouldn't care what year it was done. You would want the house condemned and burned, right or wrong. So why you got an egg timer on what's just on how you should, on, why you have an egg timer when it comes to how you feel about what America did? Well, you got an egg timer. Well, I don't feel a certain way because the egg timers don't went off. Huh? You wouldn't feel that way if you found out a history on a house where they were fully grown men were having sex with 7-year-old girls. You wouldn't feel it was a certain time that mattered. You would want the house destroyed and burned. So why they don't want the American system to go through the same thing? China does not have child marriage. Russia, you can hate Russia all you want. You can talk about what Russia is doing all you want. One thing you will find out is Russia does not have child marriage. America has 44 states with child marriage. 44 states of it. Throw up some confetti. Throw up some confetti. They got child marriage in 44 states. Ain't no way you can win. That's why everything you give me is spoils of war. All right, the good people are on my side, so all you little people out there, you better be careful. Because look, man, somebody feel like they doing justice a favor by killing you. Yeah, that's for all the people in my building. That's for all the people out in my neighborhood that think you're playing games with me. Watch your step, buddy. Because some people might feel like, you should die. Well, I'm revealing the truth. You playing games. And that's for men and women alike. Just in case you think your cootie cat can save your life. Your cootie cat can't save your life in every situation, buddy. Yeah, that funky monkey can't save you in every situation. That part, sucker. Boom. Yeah, it's a new day. Funky monkeys can't save you in every situation. Now when you playing with somebody that's revealing 44 states with child marriage, and you playing games, I care about you. Everything I take from America is spoils of war. Everything I take from America is spoils of war. Here's another reason to throw up some confetti. Russia never had slavery for Africans. Brown. America did have African slaves. Russia never enslaved Africans. Did the Chinese enslave Africans? Russia never hated black people. Ooh. Oh. I ain't never heard nothing about no Russians hating black people. That's why people here that there's black people here are starting to waken up. They're starting to waken up. Right? They are starting to wake up. Right? Because they realize that Russia never hated them. Russia never hated their ethnicity. Russia does not have a history of hating black people substantially. Right? And I've never heard of it. Never heard of any Russians hating black people. Never heard of any Russians just looking at the color of the skin of black people and say, you know what? I don't like them. White people have done that here in America. Never heard about Russians doing that. So Russians don't have child marriage. Let's review the facts. Russia does not have child marriage. They don't have a history of slavery concerning Africans, right? They have never just looked at black people and just hated them. And here's the confetti. This is what we're going to throw confetti up again. They never had a racist system as far as the government that hated black people. Brown. You ever seen racist Russian politics against black people? But you allow these dumb politicians to play Jedi mind tricks with you and give you reasons to hate Russia for no reason. Can you tell me the main reason you hate Russians? What's the main reason? Oh, I'm sitting down for it. You go ahead. You can take the floor now. I'm letting you take the floor. Tell me the reason why you hate Russia. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. I want to know what's the real reasons in history why you hate Russia. You have no solid reasons, right? Oh, if you oppose anybody, they're going to oppose you. You can't say, oh, they've been a rival. Well, we don't know who started the rivalry now, do we? Do we know who started the rivalry? Can you be sure with these old cunning Americans that they didn't start the rivalry? You don't really know, do you? You don't really know what they've done, do you? So the better question is, what have they done to you for why you don't like Russians? What have they done to America? Because we all have different politics. From my understanding, communism is down in Cuba too. You ain't got no big smoke with Cuba, do you? So you got communism in Cuba. You had Castro down there. I'm pretty sure that's communism, right? He was a communism, right? Okay, no one hates them like they hate the Russians, do they? Cuba had communism. So what else? What's the real reasons? I want to know the real reasons. Not that Jedi mind trick where the Americans just make you hate Russian through movies and stuff that they made up. All these movies where it shows Russia as the enemy. Even Rocky where he's fighting Drago, that influenced y'all to think Russians are the enemy too. I'm not saying it's Sylvester Stallone's fault. It's just you being gullible. Because at the end, he brought Russia and America together. You missed that part, didn't you? Well, you didn't pay attention to that part. You paid more of attention to the part where America and the Russians were fighting against each other. Huh? Because it was already in your culture through other movies and other through other parts of the culture to make you feel like Russia was the enemy. And you can't even give me a straight shot answer why you don't like Russia. That's a 7 hour. Can you give me a reason? You can't give me a reason, can you? You want me to give you the reason why we don't like America? You got 44 states with child marriage. That's a 7 hour. You've had African American slavery and Russia hasn't. That's a 7 hour. You still hate black people. That's enough right there. I can stop right there. You hated them for the color of their skin. Just that alone. Look how stupid that is. Go to Russia. You ain't never heard nothing about none of that. You ain't never heard nothing about it happening. In fact, nowhere else in the world have we really heard about it this deeply, have we? And that's the reason why people hate this country. Okay? You got the gang banging killing the kids now too. That's another reason too. Yeah, well, some people don't feel like they want to embrace America or embrace the black people here even really because of the black on black crime. I know you thought they would feel you. They don't feel you. Okay? Thought they would feel your pain. You ain't feeling that. You should be preserving black lives. When you talk about Black Lives Matter, why you ain't preserving them then? Why isn't Black Lives Matter going down there and talking to the people that's killing the black lives? Huh? Why they ain't doing that? Because it's all about making themselves big and making money. Black Lives Matter, they've already been accused by the parents of victims of using their children for money. They've already been accused of that. Black Lives Matter. They've already been accused of using victims for money. And I didn't say it. Other people said it. The parents said it. Now that's a strong accusation coming from the parents of victims that's already in pain. Why would they want to accuse somebody like Black Lives Matter unless it was really, really true? I'm just saying. Man. There's many reasons why people don't like the Americans, man. Even including the black people here. Yeah, I know you didn't want to hear that, but that's the truth. It's the truth, man. It's the truth. Oh, so you just lovable. You just lovable. Killing each other, but just lovable. Nah, I think you're full of yourself. That's what I think. That's what I suspect. Meanwhile, it's a crazy situation. Like I've always said, you have to talk about what these black people doing. You got to talk about what these white people doing. Here in America, you got to talk about both. They're the main ones doing everything. The black people and the white people. They the main ones. You don't see Asian people really causing a problem, do you? The Asians causing a problem in America? You can't be serious. It's always black and white people for the most part, buddy. Hey, I know it's a sad reality, but it's the truth. Well, you can't say it's the Asians. So do they have the right to be blamed and punched around because you got COVID? That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. And I guarantee you, the people that's punching the Asians, blaming them for COVID, I guarantee you they black and white. How much you want to put on that? And I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it's black and white people around here punching Asians, blaming them for COVID-19 being here. When in fact it's Donald Trump's, a white American's fault. Well, he had a slow response to COVID intentionally for political points. The House Select Subcommittee did a 46-page report reporting that Donald Trump had a intentionally slow response to COVID for political points. You got put in harm's way so he could get reelected. In other words, he put you in harm's way because he thought he could fix COVID. He didn't know how big COVID was going to be. He thought it would be the equivalent of the swine flu or the mad cow disease. He thought he would come in on election year, fix it. You would sing his praises and reelect him, and it got out of control. So he had a slow response to let it get out of control, to create a perfect storm, so he can come in and fix it, and you would sing his praises and reelect him. Boom. And that explains why you have 1 million+ deaths of COVID here in America. And you wonder why I'm just taking spoils of war and I don't deal with them. Oh, I got many reasons. That's another reason. That's a 7 hour. That's another reason. That's another reason. I need any more reasons? Need any more reasons? That's what I'm saying. So you gotta understand, some people are educated here and some people are not. But one thing is for sure, the Russian system has never hated black people. The Russians don't hate black people. America still hates you. Still right now. Russia never did. And I want some people to give me some straight shot answers about why you don't like Russia. Give me some straight shot answers, not some of that political American PC correct foolishness. I ain't talking about none of that. I ain't talking about none of that American foolishness. I want some straight shot answers why you don't like the Americans. And I want you to explain that they were the antagonists that attacked first and initiated attacks to make you not like them. So if America started the reason why you don't like them, how does that work? So America started it, but you don't like them because of something America started. Yeah. Not only do you have to prove the reason you don't like Russia, you have to prove that America didn't start it and Russia did. See, you've taken on American enemies without really investigating it. You want something to investigate? Investigate why you hate Russia. You want to investigate something? Investigate what's the foundational reasons. The golden stars why you hate Russia. I can give you 50 golden stars why I hate America. Just for your 50 stars on your flag. That's a 7, Al. I'm pretty sure I can come up with 50 reasons. You can't give me one solid reason why you hate Russia. Meanwhile, they never had slavery for Africans there. Meanwhile, they never had a racist Russian system that hated Africans there either. Meanwhile, you have a system, American system that hates Africans. You have a system here present right now. You're still dealing with it. Hundreds of years after slavery, you're still dealing with it. You can't get away from it. And you talking about you hate Russia. I'm saying, you dumb. You don't even know why. Because they don't like America. Maybe they know something I know. You ever thought about that? Maybe they know something you don't know. Huh? But the bottom line is, y'all got child marriage here in America, and Russia does not. Whose fault is that? Let's be real. Whose fault is that? Is it your enemy's fault? It's the Russians? Oh, the Russians made you do it. Not the devil, the Russians. Well, the Russians made us do it. The Russians made you marry children. Huh? Well, the Russians made us make that law 3 years ago. Oh, really? They had something to do with that. Because they didn't got to the point where they really are saying Russians are involved in the politics or in the political process of elections, right? The electoral process. They're saying Russians now are involved in the elections. This is how far they're taking it, guys. Whether they are or not, the bottom line is, whether they're involved in the elections or not, they ain't got nothing to do with them 44 states with child marriage. I bet you want to blame them for it too, huh? Yeah, well, we had some Russian politicians during that time. That's what you're going to say? We had some Russian politicians during that time. That's what I'm showing you, man. That's why everything, listen, that's why everything is spoils of war that comes from America. It's not considered, it's nothing you can give me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands, millions, and I'm still standing on it because the bottom line is it's because of what you've done. That's besides me. You know, it has nothing to do with me personally, which makes me more solid on it. It's outside of me. I can get over what you do to me. I can get over the problems. How you going to get over them having 44 states with child marriage as part of their character, as part of who they are? You got to try to make up with someone that marries children. How you going to do that? How you going to get along with people that's marrying children? Now you see what I'm saying. Now you see what I'm saying. It's outside of me. I ain't using no Jedi mind trick. You trying to get along with people that's marrying children? Bottom line, that has no care about it, concern about it. You don't hear Joe Biden talking about it. You don't hear Kamala Harris talking about it, do you? She ain't saying nothing about it, is she? And she used to be a prosecutor in California, if I'm not mistaken. She definitely used to be a prosecutor. And she said herself that she used to prosecute concerning child sexual assault cases. But yet she gets in the White House and is no type of advocate against child marriage in 44 states. Don't hear her say nothing about it. And she used to be a prosecutor. Out of all things, could have been a fireman. But she was a prosecutor, not a fireman. And she has no passion to overturn 44 states with child marriage laws here in America. I don't think nobody would stop her. You think anybody gonna try to stop somebody trying to get rid of 44 states with child marriage? That's the other thing about it. There is no resistance. So it makes you wonder why they ain't done nothing about it. Ain't nobody gonna say, well, we want that here. Anybody gonna stop it? Anybody gonna try to stop it? So why they ain't done nothing about it? Something that they have no resistance concerning. They have no resistance concerning this. They will have no resistance. I'm pretty sure in America they will have no resistance. So why is it still there then? Why they ain't saying nothing about it and getting rid of it when it has no opposition? There's no one here opposing that, right? I'm pretty sure there's not a whole community opposing 44 states for child marriage. But yet they're doing nothing about it. That's what I'm trying to show you. And so I'm supposed to get along with that. Make it make sense. I'm trying to understand. That's why I'm saying if I was a villain, I'm one of the first justified villains in your community. You can't tell me I'm wrong. So you can tell me I'm wrong. What I'm wrong about? They went they went further than you even know. So before you say anything about me going too far, you know how far the enemy went. Yeah. Go get educated on the history first, and then tell me how I took it too far. Because at the end of the day, you still have no physical operations on me. You got any physical operations where I was jumping gates and running and doing stuff? Going down into bunkers and doing anything? So you have no physical operations, but you're saying I'm taking it too far. Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense when they are out there physically going too far as we speak. That's the whole problem. That's what created the problem. They've been doing the likes of what they're doing now for 10 years almost. And so you ain't looking at what they doing. You ain't saying they took it too far. No, you're not. You ain't doing nothing about it. You ain't got no corresponding action with thinking they took it too far, do you? That's what I'm saying. You're looking for someone to blame, and it ain't gonna work for me. Me being the person with no physical operations, it ain't gonna work, bro. My perspective is still not physical operations. How I feel about you is still not physical operations. You ain't dealing with no idiot. It still is not physical operations. You have physical operations that everyone knows about that's been against me with no tangible evidence or credible evidence enough to be having any physical operations against me. In other words, you didn't even have any credible evidence or any credible reasons in a credible foundational reason for why you played games with me, right? Or investigated me, which means you're illegal to me. If you ain't have if you ain't have a credible enough of a situation, you are illegal. You broke my constitutional rights. People are looking at that. Well, they don't want their constitutional rights broken. If you're running around and you ain't got nothing, and you ain't got no credible evidence, then people are looking at it like you're breaking constitutional rights. And they don't want theirs broken. So now you just look like a fool running around here with liabilities of breaking people's constitutional rights. That's what you look like. Fools running around that got liabilities of breaking constitutional rights. While I'm up here talking about facts and truth. That's what they looking at. And that makes it look more like that's the reason why you was messing with me in the first place. The fact that I'm a person that speaks the truth and have credible information. Well, my information is credible. You got 44 states with child marriage. All of a sudden, I'm doing all this stuff that no one knows about, that no one can really prove. But yet I got stuff I can prove. Looks like it's another case of you trying to shut down the whistleblower. That's what it looks like. At the end of the day, it looks like another case of you playing around another person that's speaking the truth. I'm black and speaking the truth. These are things that you can't hide. These are things that people look at. Okay, it's another black person, whether he gets along with black people or not. At the end of the day, he's black. He didn't have a gang of black people with him in the beginning. They considered he was black on his own. He wore his blackness on his own. That's all we talking about. This man wore blackness on his own. He was considered black by himself. That's all we talking about. So it looks like another case of you seeing somebody black and you telling the truth, and you trying to shut them down through character assassination. Throw some confetti up. That's what it looks like, man. That's what it looks like. You got child marriage. You shouldn't even be able to breathe or even be able to articulate the words child molester or pedophile. You shouldn't even be able, your tongue shouldn't even be able to say it no more. You got child marriage, for crying out loud. You got children wifeys, children hubbies. Never heard of a children hubbies. What, that's a marital snack? That's a marital snack? And like what I like to say is that a little league of marriage? Child marriage is little league marriage, like little league baseball. You got little league baseball, you got little league marriage now. Hey, that's what it is. You tell me what it is. It's little league marriage. I'm gonna do a video on it. I'm gonna wait some time though. I'm gonna take my time on that one. But you got little league marriage, bro. You got the pros. You got Major League Baseball, MLB, and now you got a little league marriage. That's a little league marriage. Come on, we got the little league team. Come on, guys. 44 states. Let's get them. Go Tigers. Go Tigers. Those tigers are pedophiles, by the way. Pedophile tigers. Pedophile tigers. Go Tigers. The coach is a pedophile. Sitting out spitting out tobacco in the dugout. Go Tigers. You got little league marriage sitting around here playing with me. Man, get yourself together, man. You know what I'm saying? You listen, man, you worse than any case of a drug addict I ever seen in my life. You need to get yourself together. You got 44 states with child marriage, buddy. Yeah. This ain't no, oh, well, we'll get better. Nah, you fooling yourself. Because somebody that sit up here and pass the child marriage laws in the past 3 years, somebody's around here crazy. Somebody's around here messed up mentally, all right? Because if they passed laws 3 years ago, they're still out here. Newsflash, they're still out here somewhere. You need to be looking up those politicians that passed those laws in the past 3 years. But see, you ain't going to do that. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be looking up and see who these actual politicians are that passed these child marriage laws in the past 3 years, because they're still here. They're still here. I'm going to do a message on that. The people that passed the child marriage laws July 1st, 2019 are still here. They didn't vanish and go away. Huh? They're still here, bro. They're still here. They still here, man. And they're not going anywhere. And you haven't even looked them up. You ain't even seen where they at. Because you're interested in the game. You ain't interested in no facts. You ain't interested in pulling up where you really need to pull up. You ain't mad. You ain't worried about that. You worried about having an emotional punching bag to help you get through quarantine time and COVID time. That's what you worried about. And I hope, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath thinking you finna come out of COVID-19 era. You're not finna come out of it. You're not finna come out of that. You just got a new strain in November, December. I don't know what you think you're gonna do. Oh, you still think you're gonna get back to normal? Back to normal is now 3 years ago, buddy. This month will be 3 years since the White House knew about COVID-19. 3 years ago, bruh. Man, come on, man. You can't be serious, bruh. You can't be serious. Don't you get it? You're not going back to normal. You're not there. Even outside of COVID, how can you go back 3 years ago? 3 years now. Maybe 1 year, maybe. 3 years, all this effect, all these happenings and occurrences, and you're going back to normal. Face it, man, you're in a different world. That's the facts, bruh. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Right? You need to place the blame where it belongs. And stop, and you kill people, you act like you're not uncivilized enough to kill people, but you do. You kill the wrong people and let the right people live. You do it all the time. Donald Trump is the one why you have 1 million deaths of COVID. He's the reason. He's the actual reason. But you still don't believe it, do you? You know why? Because he done passed out those stimulus checks and you still pacified concerning how you feel about him. Well, you tell me how somebody can tell you. Kamala Harris can tell you at the vice presidential debate at the end of 2020 in October, she told you about Donald Trump knowing about COVID and not telling the American community, and you still don't feel like that's a real issue. You still don't feel like that's the reason why you're in the situation you're in. You was not prepared. He put you in that situation. He left you in harm's way. And then after we found that out from Kamala Harris, then the House Select Subcommittee, that's a group of people, by the way. The House Select Subcommittee did a 46-page report on the Trump administration, and they found out that Donald Trump had an intentional slow response to COVID for political points. He intentionally had a slow response to COVID for political points. The House Select Subcommittee did a 46-page report confirming that. And the Daily Beast, which is a article publishing media platform, if you will. The Media Beast, the Daily Beast, and Rolling Stone both did articles on it. Just look up Donald Trump, the House Select Committee, slow response to COVID, and then put the Daily Beast article or the Rolling Stone article. I am not the only one that this has been brought to the attention of or to. It's been brought to my attention. It's been brought to the Daily Beast attention, which is, like I said, it's an article publishing media platform, and the Rolling Stone media article platform. They've also published it too. It's been brought to their attention. But yet your whole American community is nonchalant about it, like they don't know nothing about it. And I suspect that that's because of the stimulus checks. Well, we can't say too much. They've been trying to help us. They was trying to pacify you from not eating their faces off. That's what it was. You didn't know what was going to happen during COVID-19 time, and they weren't trying to find out how you was going to act. They gave you $1,000 and you walked away. They gave you another $1,000 and you just let it all go. That's how they got you. Because explain to me how they grumbling about unemployment during COVID. At the beginning, 2020, they was complaining about it. Explain to me how they was complaining about that unemployment, but they're giving you free money. They was calling unemployment free money. So what was the stimulus checks? So that means they don't want to give out free money. So that means the stimulus checks wasn't free money. It was money to pacify you towards them. It wasn't free money. It had a purpose. They paid the price so that you wouldn't overthrow them and eat their faces off. Because you didn't know what was going to happen. They didn't know what was going to happen. It was getting scarier and scarier. and the White House just started handing out checks just to make sure you don't go crazy. That's all it was. Man, come on, that's all it was. When they complained about unemployment in the same year, unemployment checks in the same year, they call that free money, but they was not worried about giving you stimulus checks. Man, come on, man. Make it make sense. Because at the end of the day, as crazy as the situation was, you having COVID more than anybody in the world, they shouldn't have mind giving out their unemployment either. The unemployment wasn't number what, $400? $500? They shouldn't have been worried about giving that money out. They got trillions of dollars. They got money for Ukraine, but they worried about giving out free money to American citizens when y'all got COVID more than anybody else in 2020. They call that free money. So what is giving money, trillions of dollars to the Ukraine warriors? That's not giving them free money. I'm telling you, man. You have to realize these politicians are their own community. They're not your community. Your community don't think about marrying children. Obviously, the government, politician, political community does. They the ones pass these laws. These people, see, when people are on top, it shows you who they are. See, they know they don't have nobody to withstand them. So they mess with children. They marry children.